So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and update of my continuing wargaming collection addiction and my Napoleonic project. So I showed a while back progress and development of my Victrix cleve-berg Lancer regiment, which I was absolutely delighted by. And as I mentioned before with this cleve-berg program, I'm trying to represent the various regiments that fought within Victor's 9th Corps in 1812, which is where the cleve-berg were brigaded. Now the Lancers formed part of a cavalry brigade, and they were co-brigaded with a regiment for a squadron or two from the Hessian Darmstadt Confederacy of the Rhine Army, and this regiment, this one here, it was the Garde Chevaulegers. So basically, I can't say it. Chevaulegers. I think that means light horse. Garde light horse. And it's an interesting regiment. Basically, they had a very similar kind of helmet or hat. I don't know, to the Bavarian cavalry. These are actually Perry figures. They are Perry Bavarians because there is virtually no difference between the Hessian and the Bavarian cavalry in this period, 1812 as it was, apart from the colour scheme. And the Hessian Garde Chevaulegers wore this dark green with red turnbacks, so that's what I've gone for. And I think it's quite a striking regiment, and actually brigaded alongside the Lancers with that pink and green. It actually, you know, not getting all arty here, but actually will look quite nice, I think. As I say, these are Perry metals. They're nice figures. They are nice figures. They painted up pretty well. I think there were 3 packs or 4. I can't remember whether there were 3s or 4s in the pack, but whatever. There's a command pack, and then I basically got 1 repeat pack. So it must have been 4. Must have been 3 figures per pack. So I've got 4 packs. One was the command pack, which had the trumpeter and couple of the officers, which I think there's one there and there's one up front. Anyway, wherever. Plus, I got one of the other 2 poses. So there's one with a sort of saber resting on their shoulder, and one sort of more attacky style. But I think the combination is quite nice. Again, as I did with the Lancers, I've kept to a same colour scheme for the horses. I went contrast again with the horses. They are all using Agres Dune with a dark wash over the top. I've varied the hair colour, so some of them are black, some of them are dark brown, some are slightly lighter brown, just to give that variation. The green on the uniforms was actually this one. Vallejo dark green, which is actually quite a bright dark green, if that makes sense. But then again, once you've got a wash on it and dry brush it, it seems to tone that down nicely. All the collars and cuffs are all just straight black. All the cross belts, all the belts themselves, the horse furniture, as they call it, was all black. So I've just used straight black with those. And then the edging is just a red colour. I think I just used a medium red of some sort, but you know, quite happy with the effect. I think the combination, as I say, with the Lancers should be quite effective, so I'm looking forward to them brigaded. So another regiment of cavalry done. Got to get on with some more infantry now. So I showed the goodie bag or box that I got from Reaper Games, of a pack of various different types of dwarves. Link here in description if I remember how to do it. And this is 5 of those dwarves. These, I believe, are Oathmark plastic heavy dwarves, I think they call them, heavy armoured dwarves. and I really wanted to buy a box of these, so it's been fun to try them out. I did have a bit of problem with the undercoat on them. Not the figure's fault, I think more my undercoat. And I probably should have just rubbed it off and started again, but I didn't. I carried on. But actually, it's a bit, you can see it a little bit grainy, the figure. It's more noticeable on the shields, actually. I don't know why, but I might rip those off and start them again. But I quite like, in a way, I quite like the effect it's given. Sort of almost like a bumpy, worn armour effect. Don't know, might strip them off and do again, but I did them basically, and the theme I had with my other dwarves is that they're a very wealthy, greedy dwarf race, which is why they're going to be allied to the orcs in my Oathmark army. So I've done them in a gold colour, yeah, just basically they're a sort of a vanguard of 5 of them, all heavily armoured, and I really like them. Quite pleased with how they've come out, all in all. So I may well be tempted to buy myself a full box of the heavy dwarves, just because I like the figures, if nothing else. So I've also done the cannon that came in the box that I got of dwarves. So this again is Mantic plastics, and you know what? I really like Mantic plastics. They're simple models to construct. You don't get an awful lot of variety in the poses, but they paint up really nicely. They're chunky, and chunky is easy to paint, isn't it? I think, for me anyway. So this is the cannon with 2 crew members. This guy's smoking, we've got his pipe ready to smoke. I'm not sure that's necessarily a sensible thing to do around gunpowder, but what the hell, they're dwarves. I put it on this, well, this is a Gabion sort of, I guess, bunkered defensive position that I actually bought for the October challenge that Wargamers Anonymous was running, which was for artillery piece, and I was going to use it with that English Civil War Saka gun. But in the end, I decided that I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to have it sort of in a more permanent position like that. I wanted it to be able to look like a field gun. And so, yeah, didn't use it. But somehow it seemed right for this Dwarf Cannon. I have no idea whether I'll ever use the cannon in the game. I'm sort of tempted to sell it just because I'm not sure I will ever use it. But I'm loath to sell figures. Just because it's amazing how many times you regret it. On the few occasions I have, I've always regretted it. Apart from my 40k, I haven't regretted that. Yeah, so anyway, that's them done. Quite pleased. Painted up largely with a mixed bag of contrasts and what have you. The basing is very simply done. It's just, this is Luke's APS. Actually, yeah, I think this is a Luke's APS. A sort of gravel effect, and then I put some larger stones and just stuck them down, a couple of tufts to break that up. This whole piece here, you can see the side is a resin model. Can't remember where it came from. Bought it in the internet somewhere, and all I've done is that, just painted up, and then I've just used another version of Luke's APS on the front here with PVA glue just to sort of stick it down, and then sprayed it with a matte varnish, which just helps it stick. I think the effect's quite nice, quite pleased with it. So there you go, that's some more dwarves done. So next up, continuation of my American War of Independence figures. These are Perry Miniature 28mm Loyalist Rangers. I think they're called the Queen's Rangers, Royal Queen's Rangers. Really nice figures, and I was placing an order for something else, and I thought I'd just get these to go along with it because I like the look of them. They're in skirmish formation. There's a group of 6, which is perfect for sharp practice, which I'm mainly going to be using them for, or for muskets and tomahawks. They have a jacket, which I used. This is US Dark Green, which I really liked. It's a really dark colour. Their crossbelts are black, apart from the ones that hold the, they've got a sort of canvas bag on their backs, which is sort of canvas colour and strapper with that as well. The trousers were white, but I've muddied them up a lot. Used Agrick's Earthshade because I wanted to get the really dirty look of veterans who've been in the field for a while. Quite pleased with how they've come out. I think they look pretty good. So they can join my loyalist forces for, say, muskets and tomahawks, but also for sharp practice when we play American War of Independence. So next up is my 4th battalion of cleve-berg infantry. This time my 2nd that I've done based for sharp practice. I think I was sort of been toying with whether I should sort of duplicate, because I'm doing 7 battalions of cleve-berg, but in the end I've decided I'm going to do 5 based for black powder and 2 based for sharp practice. That should give me enough that I'm going to use. Just notice this guy's got hair all over the musket. Anyway, so mentioned before with the project that I'm working on, they're all 1812. It's from the 1812 Corps, and one of the beauties or otherwise of the cleve-berg troops is that they really didn't have very distinct regiments. The only real distinction was on the shako plate, and also I think on the cuffs and probably on the buttons they had the battalion or regiment number. But of course at this scale you can't see that, so it means you basically just paint them up the same as everyone else, which kind of has its positives and its negatives. This is a mixed bag of figures. I bought on eBay, just somebody was selling off a mixed, well, basically 24 figures, and I just thought I'll have them. They're a mixture of Victrix, I think, mostly Victrix, these ones. Some of the others had a mixture of Warlords and Victrix. This one is just Victrix. Now, I mentioned before I'm not much of a modeler, and so the fact that somebody had already put the models together was good for me. Although some of them are a little bit damaged. This guy here, he's lost the musket, the thing that the sling, musket sling. I was going to say the thing that you used to sling a musket onto your back, the musket sling, that is, had broken off. But I suppose I could try and fix it up at some point, and I might still do that. Haven't done the movement tray yet. They've just been basically those just ones that I had in the cupboard, just sprayed green. I will probably put some tufts on them and put some flock on them just to sort of bring them out so they look good as a massed unit. But yeah, that's the 5th battalion. Got the 4 grenadiers here, which is the Grenadier Company. Got the Voltiger Company there, and the rest are Fusiliers. So my other aim is that if I play sharp practice with these, and I ever want to play Grenadiers, I can take the 4 from this battalion and the 4 from the other battalion, and that becomes a group of 8. I'm not probably going to use more than 1 group of 8 in sharp practice with Grenadiers. They're too expensive, and they're not as effective as cheaper troops, to be honest. So that is that finished. Pleased to get another battalion done, and only 2 more to do, I think. So we'll get cracking with those, and then hopefully we can show. I'm back to the we again. Hopefully I can show off the final cleve-berg brigade, because it will be done. So there you go. Thanks for watching. That's my latest painting projects. Kaiser, amongst others, takes the pee out of me for saying, I haven't done much, and suddenly unveiling 100 figures. I have done a reasonable amount this couple of weeks. Well, probably a couple of weeks. So I'm quite pleased with the output. It's always nice to get a solid battalion of infantry done for a start. Plus those cavalry was great to get finished. So I'm quite happy with the products this week. Interspersed, I've been working on, or starting to work on, the October Wargamers Anonymous Challenge, which is yet another infantry battalion. So it'll be another Napoleonic one I will share with you once that is underway, and the progress on that one, but it's always nice to just get. I just feel satisfied when I've got a block of troops that I can use on the table. And some of these have already seen action. I think about 8 of these have already seen action, along with their compatriots from the other sharp practice-based cleve-berg troops. So good to get them out, good to get them using, and good to get them using. Good to get them on the table and using the figures, and quite pleased with how they've come out. Anyway, thanks for those who've been subscribing. Wonderful to be over the 1,000. Thank you so much for everyone who does subscribe, who comments and follows what I do. Really, really appreciate it. It just makes this all the fun to do. Hopefully hopefully you find it a little bit entertaining as well. Anyway, stay safe, stay well. Hope you get some gaming in, and hope you get some painting and projects underway. I will see you again soon. This is Dom signing out.